Hey, welcome to Horns Up. It's episode number 22. What's up, Peter? How are you?
Good, man. It's good to get an early start and get an episode recorded.
Yeah. This time on the episode, we're talking cover bands and tribute bands.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange in a way, but we were just kind of discussing, and there's so many of them. I mean, top of the mind, and of course, because I'm a Black Sabbath fan, Zach Sabbath comes to mind. With
Zach Sabbath. I love how all of them, they just use either puns or just song titles. So the Iron Maidens, there's Led Zeppelin, there's
Turbo Lover.
Turbo Lover.
Yeah.
There's who else? Shit, we were just counting them down, and there were so many, and now I can't seem to remember.
I mean, now
any
you
of them.
you just told me about the existing of the bedding band.
The wedding band.
The wedding.
It's not the bedding band.
Oh wow! I thought that's what it was called.
That's their unofficial nickname. I'm guessing. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the wedding band comprises Metallica's Kirk Hammett, Metallica's Rob Trujillo, and Whitfield Crane, who's from Ugly Kid Joe, and drummer Joey Castillo, who's ex-Queens of the Stone Age. This is weird, right? Metallica, who have done some fabulous albums with covers, this time are allowing two people from the band to go out and play covers. And the wedding band will be playing a private show for a fuck ton of money, I think.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah. And if you've been watching the Metallica YouTube channel, they've put out a couple of Kirk Hammett and Rob Trujillo videos. Like, the boys actually let them do one song every night.
Wow.
Or something of that sort.
Nice.
I don't
Not
know,
so
man.
nice?
It's not so nice.
All right, okay.
I mean,
so I'm going to
take away. I would love for Jason Newsted to have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was doing his shit with Metallica. Because that guy now, like if you've seen what Newsted's been up to, he's essentially an acoustic country kind of musician now. At least that's what he's doing. That's what his band does at the moment. And they do like a lot of covers, a lot of acoustic versions of songs. There's a video that went viral where he's performing
Nothing Else Matters?
No. Which was the other really... On a lone and lonesome highway, deep in Omaha.
Oh, country song,
to
basically.
the winds and blowing. It's a Metallica cover. Na 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 song.
Whiskey in
I
the
can't fucking remember the name. Night before. Don't know when the thoughts may soon be wandering the way they always do when you're driving 16 hours.
You know, it might be easier if you look it up.
Nothing else to do. And here I am. Turn the page.
Turn the page.
I can't believe it took you this long. I fucking sang out the whole song. Yeah, that remains in the podcast. Fuck it. Okay. My first exposure to rock music in terms of live music was actually cover bands, because back in those days at Raz Rhinoceros and even at college gigs and stuff, that's what we would all hear, and that's what we would all kind of do, right? Like, I remember watching Naked Earth. I remember watching...
I think Scepter did a lot of Metallica.
Scepter was synonymous with Metallica. Xenon was synonymous with Iron Maiden. And you had so many bands just wanting to be the next Nirvana, the next Alice in Chains, the next Soundgarden. On the metal side, everybody wanted to play Cannibal Corpse songs. Everybody wanted to play Judas Priest. I don't remember the number of times I've heard Breaking the Law and Paranoid at gigs. And full disclosure, the very first band I played for, which was Serpent's Kiss, like a setlist for a debut setlist for a debut Raz gig was Breaking the Law, Paranoid. We did one more cover. I think we did another Maiden song. We did a Maiden song. I think we did Wicker Man, or we did... I think it would have been Wicker Man. And there was only one original. And later on, we got the chance to do an Iron Maiden tribute gig. And we went fucking balls out for that.
I'm sure. I mean,
it was awesome. Do you remember what was Bipro's first band?
Zohak.
Zohak. Zohak was synonymous with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do so many Maiden songs
I think
and
Shazan
good
was also in
jobs.
that.
Yeah, it was Shazan and
Bipro, yeah.
Bipro's band.
But
Yeah.
surprisingly, I missed out on that phase of attending gigs and stuff like that. For me, I still remember buying a cassette, and it was like a mixtape kind of thing, but it was a band performing covers of these famous songs.
Okay.
And I still remember listening to the album for the first time, the cassette playing, and being kind of disappointed because I'd paid full price for it, expecting those songs, and ended up
And then you
getting,
realize that it's a cover band.
yeah, and it was like kind of strange. I don't know if those still exist in a way. I hope they don't, because it's now easier to get the original songs. And I'm not sure why those mixtapes existed to begin with.
I think it was a way for, and I still think this happens, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think it's because you can get those tapes and stuff and not have to pay actual proper money to use the original recordings. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many times when in clubs and in restaurants and in shops, etc., when they're using piped-in music, you hear these weird-ass covers of really popular songs.
Yeah,
And that's an industry in its own way. Somebody please educate us on that, if that exists. But that's kind of different from what we're talking about, right? We're talking cover bands and tribute acts. Have you ever watched a good tribute act live?
I'm trying to think. No, man. I mean, I think the closest I've come to seeing, which band which we completely forgot to mention in the list earlier, Parikrama, dude. Parikrama was like, can you imagine? They made their bread and butter doing covers all the way from. I've seen them do covers. I mean, I've seen them play a set in Dubai where they did originals, and they got like a lukewarm response. And once they played their covers, like there were people.
But that tended to happen, right?
Yeah, but
you had Parikrama, you had Vayu.
But I'm talking about Parikrama in like mid 2000s. This is post them like touring and opening for Iron Maiden. They went from like playing Iron Maiden covers to opening for Iron Maiden in UK of all places. And here they are. I mean, I think they did Metallica, they did Coldplay, and they did Iron Maiden, all in the same like span of 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised actually, but
But
that's kind of the territory, right? I mean, bands do covers because they kind of want to pay homage, or they just want to let the world know that this is the music that influenced them, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not a stickler for doing the cover in one particular manner or putting your own spin on a cover, etc., etc. That's absolutely fine. I think being a tribute band, however, that's way tougher.
Oh yeah. Compared to what we're talking about, all the people we're talking about was just like, hey, this is I really love Iron Maiden. I want to play one song.
Yeah,
being a tribute band is a completely
different thing, because oh my god, you announce yourself as a tribute band, immediately people have this expectation that you will give them 95%, at least nothing less than 95% of a clone, if that is the correct word to use, of the music. But then there's more. You have to provide a similar stage show.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're doing Iron Maiden, your Bruce Dickinson has to be able to dance around the stage like Bruce Dickinson does. If you're Led Zeppelin, you better be able to have that kind of oozing charisma. If you're Black Sabbath, your Ozzy should be able to bite off the head of a dove. Right? It was a dove.
And a bat.
And a bat. Yeah. Right?
One thing I want to add about being a tribute band, unlike most people who we talked about, or most bands where they kind of just played a cover because I don't have a original and stuff like that. This is your 9 to 5. This is your day job. This is what you do day in, day out. So it's not just, okay, I want to play a show, where do I go? These are people who are actively touring as much as possibly the act that they're inspired by.
Exactly, yeah. uh, essentially it's providing that same or trying to provide a similar experience to anybody who can't really go and catch their original act for whatever reason. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Maybe they're too expensive. Maybe whatever be the reason. You don't want to travel 500
I mean,
kilometers.
the thing I really feel about a band like Iron Maiden, who we've talked to death
Yeah.
on this podcast, till the time Iron Maiden played their first show in India, everyone's exposure to them was primarily through bands that were covering them.
Yeah.
Somebody who's seen them,
Yeah.
and then the moment that you finally kind of see them live, nothing's the same again, I feel.
All right. So we've talked a lot about this at the moment. All this kind of leads me into whom we are talking to on this week's episode. We're talking to an AC/DC tribute band, the world's first all-female AC/DC tribute band, which is a band from America called the Hells Bells. Funny story of how all of this happened. I was taking a short holiday with my girlfriend, and we were just looking through what all we could do, and I chanced upon something called the Beer Fest in Singapore, which is like an NH7 but much better.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
because I saw
much better and much bigger. Okay, maybe not that much credence on the music part, but whatever. That vibe and that party is so much better than what NH7 hasn't done. I don't know why I'm dissing NH7 so much now, but like after the first couple of editions, I don't know, it just went into a completely different league, and yeah, whatever. Enough about that. So yeah, back to Hells Bells, and it was as simple as just shooting them an email and saying, hey, I want to talk to you guys. And that's what happened. I landed up just after their sound check. We sat around, all the five members, all the five members, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the five members of the band, me and Karen, just hunched together with 2 microphones. So I apologize, but there's a lot of rumbling noises that you may hear because the mic is constantly passing hands. Yeah, so I apologize for that, but it's a really fun listen. So here it is. Here are the Hells Bells. All right, so now I'm coming in from Beer Fest Asia 2019 in Singapore. Why is Straight Edge Animesh at a beer fest? Well, that's because it's the promise of music that brings me here and not actually the beer, but that's all right. I'm here with America's leading AC/DC tribute band, the Hells Bells.
Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo! The world's leading, actually.
The world. Whoa. All right. The world's leading AC/DC tribute band, the Hells Bells. So, Hells Bells, there are 5 of us here. There are 5 of you here. Can you quickly just introduce yourselves?
I am Mandy Reed. I play the role of Cliff Williams, bass guitar.
My name's Amber Saxon, and I play the role of Bon Scott and Brian Johnson, and not Axl Rose.
Sharon Needles, I play rhythm guitar. Malcolm Young's position.
Woo!
Judy Kakuza, I play drums. Phil Red.
Adrian Connor, I play the Angus Young part.
Awesome.
Oh, wait.
So this is going to be a bit... Yeah, this is... I'm Animesh or Asmo, and I just play random interviewer and fan. All right. Okay, so girls, am I allowed to call you girls? That's all right? Sure. Yeah? All right. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the very beginning. Are all of you from musical families?
My dad plays the piano very nicely.
Okay.
Yes, and he still plays the piano.
Okay. The reason I'm asking you whether you're from musical families is to understand how you guys got interested in music and wanting to become musicians in the first place. Did it start from childhood?
Yes. ABBA.
My dad was a traveling musician for quite a while. He's a folk singer and guitar player. And so I grew up with him playing. And my brother is the actual one when we were kids that started playing music that early. And he's a phenomenal guitar player. And then I didn't realize I wanted to do it until I was probably 20 years old. And a lot of my friends were musicians at the time. So that's what kind of influenced me more to go into playing music, was the friends that I had at the time. So, and then we started this tiny little band and just kept with it, and the love grew.
Okay.
My first album was ABBA Arrival.
Ooh.
When I was 2. My nana gave me that, so yeah.
Do you actually remember that from when you were 2?
No, I mean, but I still got the record. I've still got it. It's like my first record. So ABBA had a lot to do with that too for me. My mum was a dancing teacher, so she wanted me to be a ballerina. And I am obviously not. And then when I was about 11, I saw Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast on television, and I couldn't believe my eyeballs and my ear holes, and I was transfixed and was obsessed about learning how to play the guitar since I was about that age. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so music was something that was on my mom's side of the family, not so much my dad. My grandmother played the violin, and my mom sang backing vocals in a band called the Room Rockers.
Wow.
And they did like tours of different bases in Europe. And my uncle is a guitar player. My other uncle is a drummer. And then when I was little, I played violin, accordion, clarinet. And it wasn't until high school where I started playing bass. And it was Kiss that actually wanted me to play in a
Holy
rock
shit.
band.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Finally found the one other Kiss fan who's doing live music because of Kiss.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, it was Kiss.
I have some distant cousins, but nobody directly in my family was musical, which annoyed the crap out of my mom even more. So I don't know, I came out just tapping away, wanting to play the drums, and as much as they tried to discourage it, it didn't work. So I still play the drums.
Okay. So here's the next question. Why AC/DC? Why not say Van Halen or Kiss or Judas Priest or Maiden?
We did a Kiss tribute. Sharon and I actually were in a female Kiss tribute for a while. It was fun, but
the makeup got arduous every night.
The makeup is a nightmare. The outfits, the makeup, and
The heels?
Yeah, the heels weren't as bad as the makeup and the you know, whatever. Yeah, the hair, it got really old, you know, like letting it grow out.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but you know, AC/DC just better tunes, and I don't have to wear makeup is also fun. What? Oh, hold on.
AC/DC is not my first choice. Manowar is.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of time you'd need to spend in the gym really deterred that idea. So I went for AC/DC instead, because you can just wear jeans.
Wearing jeans is definitely a plus. I like being comfortable. Not only that, the music is just timeless. It's universal, and everyone loves AC/DC, and it's just really fun music to play.
Okay, so how did you guys turn into AC/DC fans? What was that first song or the first album?
Mine was Dirty Deeds. I have older brothers. I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
And so what they listened to when I was a kid was what influenced me. And that's how, when I first heard AC/DC, it was Dirty Deeds. And all it took was one listen. It was done after that.
What changed? What was
song.
that? What was that experience like? Do you remember? Like, what changed?
I was
Or
probably
what
about 9 years old, I think. I don't know. I don't know. It was just, it was awesome. The way it made me feel, made me want to jump up and down, throw my fist in the air. And along with AC/DC, there's a laundry list of other bands that, you know, that my older brothers and sister turned me on to. But I do remember AC/DC and Dirty Deeds, and I was singing the wrong words. I was trying to learn the words, and I was trying to sing the wrong words. Dunder Cheap, I think, is what I was. A little kid. I'm going to hand it to Adrienne so she can tell you.
Okay, so I went to, I think it was 1991.
Okay.
And our 8th grade class got to go to the high school.
All right.
And the high school had an assembly. And so we're in these bleachers and around all these like high school students, and we're still like haven't graduated from 8th grade. And they start playing "You Shook Me" over the
over the PA.
over the PA, and instantly, I never forgot that moment. I didn't even. That was the first time I heard that song, but the way it just comes in.
Yeah, it comes in and it builds up to the crescendo, and then
and then the singing comes
Yeah.
in, and all the hair stands up on your back and neck, and it was. I never forgot that moment. So, that's an incredible song.
All right.
Well, I'm from Australia, and as we know,
I figured
AC/DC
because of the accent. I was
Right.
wondering whether to check or not.
No, you're correct. As we know, AC/DC are pretty much from Australia. So they were always on television because they was, and like everyone always listened to them. We call them Akadaka. You probably know.
Okay.
So I had no idea that the rest of the world had any idea about AC/DC. And when I actually left Australia, everyone knew AC/DC, and it blew my mind. Yeah, but definitely remember as a little kid seeing Jailbreak on the television and Let There Be Rock and that. Like Bon Scott was always on telly.
Yeah? Is AC/DC as big as Kylie Minogue or say Savage Garden? I just want to know.
You love Kylie Minogue?
I actually do.
Yay. Do you get neighbours in India?
No, we didn't.
What?
No, yeah,
Oh.
we didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, so
Do you
my
guys
first
like
exposure.
Jason Donovan?
Who? No, but isn't I don't know.
He did
yeah.
a duet with Kylie Minogue once.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only duet that I really like. Okay, this is weird going into Kylie Minogue territory, but
With Nick Cave?
no, the one with Robbie Williams.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So are AC/DC as famous as say Kylie and stuff in Australia?
On par.
Yeah,
on
that's
par for
fucking
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, swearing is allowed.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, cheers on the straight
Cheers on
edge.
that. Yeah, yeah.
That's super cool.
Wow, lovely. Let's stop talking about Kylie Minogue. Get back to AC/DC love. How did you know how did you fall in love with AC/DC, if at all?
God, I think I was probably in, fifth grade maybe. I remember drawing the logo and stuff. Well, listening to the songs,
Yeah, it's
obviously.
one of the most iconic
but I had
logos,
it, like, we
yeah.
used to have on our desk where you can make where you can kind of draw and write whatever you want. And I had the logos for Kiss and Alice Cooper and AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. But yeah, it was just one of those bands you hear. And
Which song? Do you remember the first song or the first album?
I don't. I remember Highway to Hell for sure. There's so many of them. I
Okay.
think Highway to Hell probably was the first album I got. I think.
It's hard to pinpoint, it's just kind of, you start listening to a whole bunch of different music, and then at some point somebody, plays an AC/DC record, and you're like, oh, what's that? So, same thing, you hear all those hits, but like just songs like Riff Raff too, or I'm like, ooh, what's that? It's just fun to play.
Okay.
I think I don't know about you guys, but I'm from Washington State, and all through high school, every single high school party you would go to, the Back in Black record would be on every single one of them. So that's a good memory too.
All right. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about tribute bands as such. Did you guys always envision yourselves as playing in a tribute band?
No, but
So how did that come about? Especially because for many of you, this isn't the first tribute act that you guys are performing in.
well, I always wanted to play music, and I did my own music, and I would play my own music, and not that many people would come. But I kept playing it, and then I got asked to be in this band, and I was like, okay, I didn't know what a tribute band was or anything, but I learned the songs as best as I could, and And then people started showing up.
Back when Hell's Bells first started, there wasn't. It was before the tribute band explosion. There are tribute bands everywhere now, but when when this band first started, you hardly heard of tribute bands at all, especially all female ones at the time.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an awesome idea. It wasn't my idea. It was our former Angus Young, our first Angus Young that we had in the band. It was her idea to start an all-female AC/DC tribute, and this was in like the year 2000, and you didn't hear too much about tribute bands. And I thought it was an awesome idea. I thought it would be super fun, and well, 20 years later, if we weren't having fun, we probably wouldn't still be doing it. So it's been a blast. It's been quite a ride for sure.
Yeah. All of us come from original music. Like Judy and Sharon are from an amazing band called Betty Blowtorch. Mandy was in Neutral Boy, and Adrian was in Adrian and the Sickness, and I was in a band called Bug Girl, and we were touring the US, and we got to open for Hell's Bells for a few times, which was awesome because we kind of sounded a little bit like AC/DC. We can't help it. We're from Australia, and we can't think beyond AC/DC. So when it was time for a new singer, they called me up. So, I mean, that was really exciting for me. And, yeah, here's the Betty Blowtorch girls. Tell us about it, ladies.
I didn't actually join one until I saw Judy playing in a Cheap Trick, tribute. And at first, I didn't really get it, actually, the whole tribute thing, because we came from original bands.
Yeah.
Love doing original stuff.
The band that they were in, Betty Blowtorch, they would go on tours. They would get to open for big bands. I mean, they toured the world. They did all kinds of stuff. And then they had a major tragedy, and the singer passed away. But anyway, that's really, I mean, anyway, take it away.
That's actually kind of what turned me, because after our singer Bianca passed away, I just didn't have it in me to play in an original band. I just felt like that spark was gone, and the writing went away, and that camaraderie went away, and I wasn't sure I was even going to play anymore. And then Pam from the Neptunas, who was kind of the same thing. There wasn't a lot of tribute bands back then, and she had started this Cheap Trick cover tribute band, and they pursued me for quite a while. Like, come on. I was like, I don't play some cover band, and then eventually I just thought, well, I guess I'll go check it out and play, and those guys really got me back into the desire to start playing after everything that went down with Betty Blowtorch. So,
all right.
Yeah, and then she was like going to Japan and like making tons of money. I know that sounds not so good, but I mean,
there's nothing
was
wrong
like,
in it.
All of a sudden, I'm like, wait, you're playing for troops in Japan, and you're going to the Middle East, and you're making money.
Yeah,
and you don't have to practice like every week and write songs, and so I don't know.
Okay, this is weird because considering all of you are from bands that have played original music, right? It's very weird to me that there's still a weird stigma attached to being a tribute band, right? And now that you've experienced the other side, do you think that stigma is warranted? Because in terms of effort,
No, because
equal amount of effort.
Right. I mean, okay, so what? You get asked to join a band, you got to learn the songs, right? That's what you're doing.
Exactly. And
you write a song, you know what I mean? Like, you're learning how to play a song that you wrote. I mean, you write the song, but you still have to learn how to play it. Where does that song come from? It comes from creation, from the universe, I don't believe in it anymore. I mean, I don't think that.
And on that part, actually, it's way tougher for a tribute act because people have heard the real deal. So automatically, if they hear of a tribute act, they automatically assume that either they're getting close to, say, 95% clone, for lack of a better word. So you guys have really high expectations to hit.
I mean, I see it as a very vicious cycle that's enmeshed with our culture today. Like, audiences are demanding the nostalgia bands. When you listen to our radios, there's very little room for new music.
Yeah.
I mean, when you turn on the radio, you're still listening to 70s and 80s bands. The bands who are successful today are the bands that are from the 70s and 80s. They're like in their 60s and 70s and still touring.
Performing, exactly.
You know, they have, like, there's not a lot of room for young original musicians. I mean, all the generations beneath those from the 70s and 80s have been totally cut out. Now, if you're a musician and that's what you want to pursue, you can try as much as you want to be an original musician. It's very, very hard.
Unless you have family in the music industry.
Right.
And then, you know, or you're born into it and you've been doing it since you were a child and your parents are, you know, making,
Right. But
you know what I mean?
I don't, yeah. But we're no longer in the culture of people giving a crap about original music or original art. It's a very conservative time. And, you know, we've all worked for years and years and years as original artists. And if you want to pursue...
At least in the rock genre. We
Right.
don't play other genres, so we can't really speak for what's going on in other genres, but rock and roll.
I think in every genre, in the world in particular, it's a very conservative time, in my opinion. But anyway, I mean, if you want to pursue your life as a musician or an artist, this is a great way to do it. It's a great alternative. And, you know, those who criticise that are part of the problem as well, you know. But go out and buy your original music.
I know, criticize us. Okay, well, are you buying any of this original music that we've written and put out? I mean, no, you just want to take a shit on what we're doing. I mean, right?
It's really hard playing original music, trying to get your fan base and.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
The thing is it's kind of what Amber was saying. You know, we wouldn't be doing this also if there wasn't an audience. And there's definitely an audience. I mean, we play to thousands of people. So there is a need out there, or people want to see, you know, good bands, good musicians, good tunes. And I kind of also feel that, personally, I've been in several different quote-unquote tribute acts or been hired in, and I feel what makes some bands last, like this band, and why this band, in my opinion, is
you
the
guys have
best
been going
band.
strong for 20 years now, so
It-
that's not a minor achievement at all.
No, I mean, it's the personality. It's not just, you're not just playing their music, but everyone in this band is a really great musician. Everyone in this band can hold their own and then brings their own personality. And so when I have found, you know, I'm the newest member, so I found when I came into Hell's Bells, yes, you have this whole, yes, we play AC/DC. I'm still saying they. Yes, you know, it's AC/DC music. Yes, you have AC/DC fans, but honestly, there's a shitload of Hell's Bells fans. They're not going out and seeing every AC/DC tribute band. They are coming out to see this band. They want to see the people in this band, the way that this band has chemistry and clicks. And so you can't put that down. It is the same thing where you know people want to look down and say, oh, you're in a tribute band, but this band has its own personality, its own fan base, and I think that's something that needs to be considered as well.
All right. Okay, so to talk more about tribute bands and how they start off, right? If you guys pick a band, obviously the music part is one element to it, but then there's the whole other part, which is the visual part of it or the performance part of it. You can't picture an AC/DC tribute band without Angus Young duck walking across the entire stage, right? The costumes need to be right. The look and aesthetic needs to be right. How much effort goes into those kind of areas? I mean, it's AC/DC, so it's fairly simplistic.
Well,
but for
our Angus, Adrian, she, instead of wearing the schoolboy uniform, she wears a schoolgirl uniform.
of course,
The tie and the skirt and everything. But lucky for us, AC/DC is just jeans and T-shirts. You never see them in anything fancy. They are just totally regular guys up there. So we get to go up there and, you know, be
How
comfortable.
many pairs of hats and
But-
sunglasses do you own?
Amber does wear the vest.
Not as many as blue jeans. My blue jeans collection is out of control. my accountant's always giving me a grief for my jeans expenditure. It's like, you can't buy that many pairs of jeans in one day. I was like, dude, it's AC/DC. It's about denim. It's all about the denim.
How much time did it take you to learn that or practice that or do it like at the drop of a hat?
I'm always learning. I never stop learning.
I remember the first tour with Adrian as Angus. It was her first tour as Angus. Because, fun fact, Adrian came in playing Malcolm.
Ooh.
She was the Malcolm first. And then when our former Angus decided to move on, Adrian moved into that spot.
Okay.
And she is incredible. She's got so much energy. But the duck walk, I remember specifically, we had stopped at a gas station, and I look over, and Adrian's out in the parking lot duck walking, practicing, and then she stops and she looks at me. She's like, "I look like a jackass." she was having trouble getting it right, but now she's good now. But it's a memory that always makes me smile.
So, what makes here's a question for Adrian specifically. What makes Angus Young unlike any other lead guitarist in music?
Well, there's a lot. The Angus doesn't try to. He doesn't have that thing where I'm a guitar player and I have to. He doesn't have to do that, and he's blues and he's melody, and he just, It doesn't seem like there's an ulterior motive to the playing part of it. Because I know as a guitar player, when I get asked to get up and play with somebody, I feel the pressure of like, oh, I'm supposed to be like, when I'm doing solos like the Angus does, in my mind, I'm like, you would never have the balls to just get up there and go, wah, wah, you would want to be like, oh, I don't know. But so there's that. And then also he has that physical side of it, that dancing thing that he does.
Yeah. And
so that's different from most guitar players. Just stand there and, will have a aesthetic look, but they stand there and puts on a show. Yeah.
Okay. Now, that question came about from a very stupid thought that I used to have as a music fan way early when I got first introduced to rock and metal. I used to think that AC/DC was a very generic band. Okay, and that's a common perception amongst people who get into metal really early and then immediately start off listening to death metal and stuff. Yeah, I mean, all of you are nodding, so this is not the first time you're hearing this. What makes, now that you're playing the music continuously and almost giving a tribute to AC/DC on a daily basis, what makes your unique roles and the band overall so unique or so loved by people the world over?
It's tribal music. There's a tribe beat to it. There's something that's very accessible to, and it's not trying to do anything except it just is like, it
appeals to the animalistic things, right? Yeah.
The straightforwardness of AC/DC is just what makes it cool. I know for me, I play bass in it, and a lot of people have come into the band, newer musicians or new members, and coming in thinking that it's going to be really easy because it sounds easy.
Yeah, it does.
But then it's never the case, and that's always words that they end up regretting, Even though that a lot of the bass playing is straightforward, playing these bass lines for so many years has made me so much better at playing the bass. Like solid. The solidness that I've learned is all from this. And sometimes you just don't have to be fancy to make something really rockin', AC/DC taught me that.
Yeah, I think overplaying and the fanciness is a distraction to what music is all about. Like, AC/DC has stripped everything back to the pure core where, I know I feel it when I'm on stage, and I know we all feel it, and we all share it with the audience. It's this pure energy that we're all sharing at the same time. And, there's a lot of ego that's stripped away from it as well. So, like Adrian said, it's tribal. So, it's not just referring to the beat, but us with our audience. It is one tribe. And it's just as much about the audience as it is about us, as it is about the music. We're just there and we're connecting, and it's amazing. it's just pure energy.
Here's the next point, and again, I'm kind of doing or going into the tribute band versus not real band but original music band, right? For an original music band, their highs come from the point of, oh my god, my single is in the number 10, or my album just got released, it got 10,000 downloads, or because my band is on a bill, I managed to draw X number of people. Does the same apply to a tribute band?
Well, I feel
Or
like
what's
I
different?
I feel like we can vicariously enjoy a number one record with AC/DC. It's like Back in Black. It's like one of the
Yeah.
the biggest selling record. And like when an AC/DC song does come on the radio, because I mean we play it so much and we connect with it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, look, our song's on the radio. Yeah, I think I should probably see a counsellor about that one. But anyway, right? Yeah.
Some of us have kids, and the kids will, AC/DC comes on the radio, and the kids are like, "Oh, you're on the radio! You're famous!"
Yeah. Okay. But beyond that, like in terms of, what do you think makes for cementing the Hell's Bells legacy over any other band with plays maybe original music or does tribute acts?
I mean, I can say coming into this, as a newer member, that the band already has a very good reputation, just with musicians, whether it's original bands or not. But if someone says, "Oh, Hell's Bells," I'd never heard, "Oh, they're a good tribute band." I would just, "Oh, those guys are a good band." So it's, that's I think important is that when people refer to Hell's Bells, they don't say they're just a good tribute band. I've heard, hey, those guys are a good band. So I haven't really heard a lot of, distinguishing between it, before I came into the band.
But when you guys jam, or over these 20 years, have there been attempts at songwriting or something, playing something original at all? If yes, why? If no, why?
I think, we've had all our separate things that we do on the side, original stuff. But as a band, as a unit together, it's always just been Hell's Bells. We all, in America, we all live really far from each other, like different states. So doing an original band would probably be impossible for us because we can't rehearse. We've got someone in Arizona, California, Colorado, Washington State, and Texas. So we are spread out very far from each other. So.
Okay.
And I think that would dilute the purpose and defeat the purpose. Like, I mean, we're here, we've got the one mission, we're focused, and like, we've done original. Yeah. Yeah.
It would water down. You're saying it would water down our brand. Our brand. Oh, man. That's a lame word.
Okay. What happens when AC/DC releases new music? Do you guys immediately go like, holy shit, there's a new album out, we've got to get cracking now?
we learned rock and roll train.
That's nice.
I'm more excited about them going on tour when they release new music because, they don't tour very often. So I'm excited about going to see them on tour. So I know if they put out a new record that I'm going to get to see them live shortly thereafter. But, we kind of just see how it all depends on what the people that come to see Hell's Bells, what they want to hear. If somebody says that they want to hear stuff from the new record, then we'll see what we can do to learn the whatever songs, the single or whatever it's out on.
I know it's mentioned on your website that members of AC/DC have come and have come and watched you play. Do you have any stories to share about
we did
playing in front of them or something of that
we
sort?
didn't play in front of them, but we did meet them twice.
Okay.
In Tacoma, Washington. And I think the second time we met them, after they left the room, Adrian took Angus's boxer shorts. Oh, and then Chris Slade one time. Chris Slade got up and played Highway to Hell with us. We were playing a club in, what was it, Everett, Washington.
Edmonds?
Edmonds.
Redmond.
And he showed up to the
Edmonds,
show, and he
Redmond.
got up and played
Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell with us. So that was pretty cool.
We're like, he's playing it wrong.
Have you guys watched that movie? There's that one movie in which essentially parodies or doesn't parody, pays homage to the Judas Priest story, in which essentially the lead vocalist is a fan and plays in a tribute band, and then goes to a show of the original band. The original shout! Exactly, yeah, Steel Dragon, and then it's called Rockstar. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg, right?
yeah. Mark Wahlberg. So he ends up being the new lead singer, right? When the old singer goes like, fuck, I don't give a shit about this anymore. Do any of you harbor that dream?
I was hoping that was going to happen to me. Instead, it happened to fucking Axel.
Me too. I was like, they need to call Amber, call Amber.
Give us a call. Call me anytime.
All right. So all of you are very jet lagged. Let's wrap this up. Let's do a quick fire. Okay, let's do a quick fire. First thing that comes to your mind when I say favorite AC/DC album.
Powerage, all the way.
Porridge.
I would say Powerage, too.
I have to agree. Powerage.
Back in Black.
Woo! Okay, let's do it. Let's do it the other way now. Let's do it the other way now. Favorite AC/DC song.
Shoot to Thrill.
Walk all over you.
Problem Child.
Riff Raff.
Come on, quick fire.
Oh, God, I don't know.
Just pick one.
Okay, a Jailbreak.
Jailbreak. Okay, all right. Hold the mic. We'll pass it around the other way now. Most challenging song to play live.
Riff Raff.
Back in Black, actually.
Back in Black. Wow. Okay.
Shake a leg.
Stamina-wise for the bass, Riff Raff.
I'm surprised nobody said Thunderstruck.
I'll remind you that you start Back in Black. I'm gonna just say that officially online.
Okay. You guys have officially released a covers album, right? Yeah. Can we play any one song from that album? Which song can we play and why?
I would do Thunderstruck off that album. I'm not really happy with my performance on Shoot to Thrill.
Okay.
I like Ride On.
Problem Child.
I'm not on that, so.
I wish we would play Ride On live, but
So it's Ride On, and why Ride On specifically?
because we don't play it live.
Yeah, that's the only time I can sing that low is when I get a few takes at it.
All right. So here's Ride On from the Hell's Bells album. Check it out.
It's another lonely evening in another lonely town, but I ain't too young to worry, not into to cry when a woman gets me down. Got another empty bottle. Another empty bed. Ain't too young to admit it. Now I'm not too old to lie. I'm just another empty head. That's why I'm lonely. I'm so lonely. But I know what I'm gonna ride on, stand on the edge of the road, thumb in the air. One of these days I'm gonna change my evil ways. Till then I'll just keep riding on. broke another promise. Now I've broken another heart. But I ain't too young to realize. Now I ain't too old to try to get back to the start. Yeah, this another nightmare. Ooh, another red light street. And I ain't too old to hurry, 'cause I ain't too old to die. But I sure am hard to beat. But I'm lonely. Lord, I'm lonely. What am I gonna do? Got myself a one-way ticket. Going the wrong way. Gonna change my evil ways. One of these days. One of these days. I'm gonna ride on. Looking for a truck. Keep on riding. Riding on and 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 on. Gonna have myself a good time. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. One of these days. One of these days.
All right, so we're back in conversation with Hell's Bells. Now, it's one thing to be a tribute band, but there's another to be an all-female tribute band. Is it more of a challenge?
What? 'Cause we've got tits?
I think, well, any tribute band doesn't have the luxury of making a lot of mistakes. Like AC/DC could get up there and play their own music, and if they make mistakes, they make mistakes. But when somebody comes and watches a tribute band, they expect you to sound exactly like the record. And you don't have that luxury of making a lot of mistakes, although we're human and it happens. Now, all female, then there's even more expectation, I think.
Yeah, that's not fair.
I agree. I agree. So we really, we just have to bring it. And we try our best to do that.
I do get bummed out when I go to see a tribute band and it's not as good or better. I'm like, well, you know. Yeah. But if there's one member that is kicking, butt, it's like, all right, well, I can focus on that member. Like, wow. Yeah. Especially if it's the drummer, because drummers are my favorite.
Okay, so thank you so much for the time that you've given me. I hope you guys have a fabulous performance, not just here, but wherever else you're playing next. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see you in
Thank
India.
you.
Are you an AC/DC fan, Peter?
Yeah, actually, on my recent trip to Australia, I bought an AC/DC trucker hat or hat.
Damn,
Which-
that's awesome.
Yeah, which was like really cheap. I don't think it was official merchandise, but come on, when you're in Australia, you kind of go for that.
Akadaka.
Yeah.
That's a new thing I learned.
Yeah.
They call Akadaka locally.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I didn't
man,
know AC/DC was that huge. Like, I expected them to be that huge, but
Dude, but-
damn, those like Australians worship AC/DC.
Yeah, dude. I mean, think about it. When I was looking up like my trip to Australia and things, the number of bands that you can name. Of course, there are like local bands, unsigned bands all over, but someone who's kind of transcended. If you think about it from a perspective of Australia and how huge the country is, and to kind of make it out of there, sell out stadiums in like Europe, America, wherever you go. I mean, it's nothing short of being awesome. I mean, crazy AC/DC story I have is I remember about a decade ago when I was doing my first job and I was living in Poland at that time. There was a guy who worked with me.
Uh-huh.
He was 10 years older than me. No, 15 years older than me. I stand corrected. Spoke no English. But once I got into his car and I saw an AC/DC CD, so I was like, you listen to AC/DC. He played the CD. Both of us didn't need to speak the same language. Like the music kind of both of us like rocking out in his car listening to AC/DC.
It became the bonding factor.
It became the bonding factor. And
Yeah.
that was really cool. And that's what I feel happens with metal and just music in general.
Yeah, and stuff like AC/DC, it took me eons to realize how simple doesn't necessarily mean bad,
Yeah.
right? And I'm glad I did that because, oh my God, that music is so universally loved. And as the Hells Bell said, it caters to everyone.
Yeah.
It's stuff that everyone can rock out to, and I think that's the appeal of it, and which is why a band like Hells Bells can do what they're doing, right?
Of course, no matter
Um,
where they go, people are going to recognize the
Back
sound.
in Black.
They're Black in Black.
Everyone will recognize that
Yeah.
riff.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. So yeah, that was the Hells Bells interview.
A lot of fun. I really wish I was there for an interview like this.
Yeah, that would have made it really richer. I can't seem to, however, remember any Indian tribute band. Like the closest I think we've come to is, remember there was this Bangalore-based Iron Maiden band, Killers Breed.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I think I saw them once because Solar Didi performed with
Show
them
with
on a
them,
show. But yeah, again, it wasn't a tribute
It
band.
was just a kind of...
So here is a shout out, or here is rather a request. If anyone is in town who wants to put together either a tribute to Death or a tribute to Maiden, hit me up.
Okay, Animesh is going to be up for it.
I am definitely up for it.
Are you gonna be on bass or vocals?
No, bass. I can't. Neither can I sing like Dickinson or Dianio. Okay, Blaze Bailey, maybe I can hit those notes, but I don't have that talent at all. And my raspiness or growling or whatever you call that with the Riot Peddlers is nowhere near Chuck Shaldiner's level at all. Definitely bass. But I'm open to doing histrionics like Steve Harris. I'm open to doing that. Now Death, I don't know. There's so many different bassists. I love playing those tunes.
Cool. I look forward to attending a gig, a non-Riot Peddlers gig where you're playing in the next 6 months.
Or actually a tribute to Metallica. So if you want to get in touch with me for getting together a tribute to Death, to Iron Maiden or to Metallica, hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Asmo Annie.
And if you want to be on the next podcast episode, or you just want to hit me up with your cool new metal band, I'm Trend Crusher.
And
I'll be nice, I promise.
and Horns Up is at Horns Up Pod. That's it from us this week. Horns Up.
Horns up.